know they'll be there.
In 1984, daffodils were on the top of many student shopping lists. The reason? The rise to fame of a sensitive flower called Morrissey and his band of Smiths.
I used to know Stephen Morrissey because in the punk days, you know, 77, 78 in Manchester, there was quite a vibrant little circuit, and Morrissey was a strange little character on the edge of it all.
Stephen was the bespectacled nerd at the back of the gig.
He was not unlike Roy out of Coronation Street. He seemed a little bit retarded. You were a bit worried about him.
He then rang me up, probably in about 1980, to say could I go and see him. So I went out to see him at his mum's house, and I went into sat in his bedroom, lined with James Dean's pictures, and he announced to me that he was going to decide, I'm going to be a pop star. I remember sitting there thinking, like hell you are, Stephen.
So I heard the name The Smiths, and that Stephen Morrissey was in it. And it just sounded like too quirky and too eccentric to really matter. And then I heard this charming man, and I could not believe it.
The Smiths, to me, were the most brilliant Manchester band of all time, and still are.
Anybody who could wear a hearing aid, an Elvis t-shirt, and have a quiff like that, roll about on the floor with flowers in his back pocket, now that's a pop star, you know. Ricky Martin, my ass.
Why pamper life's complexity when the leather runs smooth on the passenger seat?
For me, they were like all the worst episodes of Coronation Street. I mean, Morrissey was just Ina Sharples. He just kept moaning in this dreary, rather camp northern voice.
This man said it's gruesome that someone so handsome should care.
People criticise him saying, oh, they're miserable and all this, but they were really funny. Fantastic lyrics, Morrissey.
I'd like to drop my trousers to the world. I am a man of means, of slender means. Each household appliance is like a new science in my town.
I feel that I write with humour, and I never get recognition for this. But when people say Morrissey is so miserable, to me it's just a lazy journalism. It's just a very surface opinion.
I couldn't stand the Smiths, no, not at all. I was a rock fan, and I was into hedonism and escapism. I loved rock and hip-hop, and the Smiths gave all of us lots something to kick against, really, you know, because they were such moaning minis, the lot of them, really.
Yeah, the miserable Smiths fans and the miserable Smiths, well, they weren't miserable when we were playing. The gigs were like football matches, and that happened very quickly. You know, even in the small gigs, it was just chaos.
You'd see sort of concerts years ago where people would just be going to any lengths to climb onto that stage and like throw their arms around them.
I was in Derby, working there, and the old Grey Whistle Test were filming the Smiths live in concert at the Assembly Rooms in Derby. These coaches from Manchester come down. There were about 400 people in the audience, and it was absolutely wild, and you'd never seen anything like it, all throwing like daffodil stems.
It got a bit treacherous in the end, the flowers thing, because the stage was so goddamn slippy. You know, I'd be wearing moccasins, and you'd be thinking, oh, you know, you're getting down with your bad self. The next thing, whoa, a tulip, bang.
And I remember going to Smith's concerts, and you get there, and there would be thousands of people with, you know, big, huge quiff, National Health glasses, a hearing aid, and, you know, big sort of flowery shirts or Smith's T-shirts, whatever. I mean, all looking absolutely identical.
And he helped us all because we could all go to second-hand shops, Oxfam, and get cheap old blouses and stuff and wear those. Never wore a hearing aid, never wore National Health glasses for a laugh.
Morrissey's style ran kind of parallel to mine in a way, without sounding too sort of contrived about it. We were into retro Levi's, which at that time were not really that expensive.
Now you have gone, and you must be looking very old tonight. The devil will find work for idle hands to do.
He'd look
cool now. You know, he wore faded denim 501s, you know, in a white shirt that was always open, and he always used to have his hand on his chest and be doing all this kind of thing. You'd be like, oh.
He was just like a stick, wasn't he? He was like, he was really thin and had nothing to him. His body just went like that.
He was kind of adopted by really privileged middle-class students as their great hero because, you know, they'd always dreamed, I suppose, of being genuinely downtrodden and hard done to. And, of course, these people had an incredible lifestyle, but really just wanted something to moan about.
For me personally, I feel like I'd always been a bit of a weirdo. I was always the one that got bullied at school, bullied where I lived. I was living on a big council estate, and things were sort of pretty bleak. And then Morrissey came along, basically. The Smiths came along, kind of saying, I'm a weirdo too, we're weirdos, and join our gang and you'll be okay. And I just ended up choosing William, It Was Really Nothing, and writing a play based around the song.
At the tender age of 15, he wrote his first play, William, in 2 hours, and it's just finished a successful run at the Royal Court Theatre in London. Since we're short of staff, we sent a bit of a prat on to interrogate this budding young genius.
I was going up to Newcastle to do an interview on the Tube. I got a phone call from the Tube and said, by the way, we thought, you know, we should let you know Morrissey said that he'd like to do the interview himself. He'd like to interview you.
How do you find the first months of fame?
Well, I'm enjoying them immensely. It's just really exciting.
Fame is very important to you, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, as I don't want to die and be no one. You see me meaning?
I do indeed.
Yes.
I can't bear to look back on the interview. It kind of makes me cringe because I got it so wrong, and I was sort of young and spotty and wearing a jumper that I borrowed off of my uncle and everything, and it was just really, I can't bear to watch it.
Jolly good show.
And can I ask you a question, right?
Yes.
What have the Smiths been doing recently?
The very standard group things. We've been in the studio and we've recorded a new single.
When I look back, it's like a bit of a fairy tale, really. It's not the sort of thing that happens to 16-year-olds.